Welcome to the latest printed press. I'm Aysen Djemal, and I'm very happy to do our program once again today about young, professional, successful people in our Turkish Cypriot community. Today, we have a very unique individual, Soner Karagozlu, the founder of Edible London. Welcome, Soner, to the program. First of all, I want to just say Edible London donates large quantities of fresh fruit and vegetables to those food banks all around Great Britain at the moment, specifically London, providing ingredients for over 40,000 meals a week. I mean, you've done a phenomenal thing, especially during COVID-19. So first of all, thank you very much for everything that you're doing. So it's absolutely amazing. How are you today?
Yes, tired, but really good.
Really good. Yeah, thank you very much for coming on my program. I mean, we previously had a COVID-19 special where you were a specific guest, but we really felt like we wanted to, have a specific program about Edible London and how it all came about, because it's just an amazing journey and story. I think it's a real inspiration for our youngsters and our community out there. So thank you very much for agreeing to come on the program today.
Welcome.
It's a real honor. First of all, can you tell us a bit about yourself, where you grew up, what your influences were as a child, like your education?
Grew up in Palmer's Green, so Haringey based all my life. Yeah, that's pretty much grassrooted in the community. I mean, grew up with a very much Turkish Cypriot culture. Mum and dad being in my life, my dad being the breadwinner, my mum being at home as a housewife. I learned quite a lot from both of my parents as well. My dad being very influential in the context of food growing and being a farmer himself, and then spending a lot of time with my mum in the kitchen as well and cooking food and learning about cultural food. So it was a very diverse sort of balance growing up. And obviously, as most of Turkish Cypriots know, coming from a big family, everyone's always fighting for attention. So I had no problems getting my voice heard in the family as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Are you like first generation, second generation? Was it your grandparents that came here or your parents?
It was my grandparents and my parents. It was both. So it was actually my parents who came here in just after 1974, I believe, or maybe even prior to that. And then my grandparents, some of my grandparents came actually after. I never got the privilege of meeting any of my granddads. They both passed away before I was even born. So I only had my grandmothers. I got to know both of them very, very well. My dad's mum passed away quite a while back. My mum's mum is still alive. Got a good relationship with her. Whenever I go to Cyprus, I stay in the village with my nan. So everyone calls me Soner Hanım over there, because I go out there and I look after my nan. And men ain't supposed to do that apparently, but yeah.
Apparently, but they should definitely. You're a very good influence there when you say that, because this is what my program is all about anyway. Is actually reaching out to the community, because we're so vast and varied. We're very similar, but we've also got very big differences as well. And something like that you've just said, you don't fit into the typical male Cypriot sort of category, actually, because you go out there and you relate to your nan. It's wonderful. Is it a specific village inside?
Dickmenko.
Okay,
that's where a lot of my mum's side of the family are from. Dickmen. A lot of my dad's side of the family are from Lurujina, but they don't all live in Lurujina anymore.
Okay, we've got some comments coming in. We've got somebody, Mehdi Ismet, all the way from Cyprus, saying, "Well done, Cockney boy." Does he?
Yeah, I know Mr. Mehdi.
And Sue also is saying, hello, Aisha, and hello, Sue, always watching my programs. Thank you very much. My friends actually supporting me. And Edim has said something. Nice to have you on the program, Mr. Soner. I mean, Edim is in awe of you. And I know that you've worked very closely with the TCCA, with Chatter, and a lot of other organizations within the Turkish Cypriot community. And I think they're very grateful to you, because you've, added another dynamic to all the work that's been going on of late. So as a child, your family was your main influence, not necessarily your education then?
Well, no, I mean, without going into a negative sort of thingy, but education, I soared in anything creative in school. So, drama, food tech, things that brought out the creative side of me. I absolutely soared in it. But other areas of education, no, I wasn't that good at it. And where I struggled with things, I don't feel the nurturing was there to understand that there is different sorts of people. You've got 36 students in the class learning one curriculum. You know, what happened to people's identity and individuality and creativity? I don't think the national curriculum follows a line of creativity.
Yeah,
So
I fully agree. I'm a drama teacher and I fully agree with that. The national curriculum is too prescribed and we need a lot more inclusion, especially within our community as well. And what's nice on it is the fact that, yes, you didn't follow that typical education path, but you've become very successful nevertheless. And I think that's why I wanted to mention it for that point, really, that the fact that you don't have to be in, like, you know, a professional or educated to a very, very high level. You can actually be successful in other ways as well. You know, if you feel like, you know, you are more creative rather than scientific, you can still do really well. Although I think you do have some science base in you because you're very knowledgeable about the food and everything and what's nutritious and what isn't. So I think you're a very intelligent person, but it's just what you enjoy doing. You're more of a creative person, which is like me. I'm like that as well. I may be a teacher, but I wouldn't say I'm like very intellectual or very articulate. I'm much more creative, so I can relate to that wholeheartedly. What influenced you to start up Edible London, and what was it like setting it up, the organisation? Was it easy? Was it hard?
wow, resilience comes to mind.
Yeah.
Seeing the amount of damage in the world. There's many reasons what led me to starting Edible London. What led me to changing my lifestyle, that led me to founding Edible London, was the world and the way things are in the world. There is so much injustice in this world. There is so much inequalities in this world, and there are so many people suffering from malnutrition. You know, food being the most important thing. And being a Turkish Cypriot, we come from Cyprus. I remember going to Cyprus 10, 15 years ago, and there wasn't a bakje, there wasn't a garden that they won't grow in there. They're tomatoes, they're this, they're that. Nobody even does it in Cyprus anymore. So,
Yeah.
so when I look at my home country, and this is my home country, I was born and bred in England. You get what I'm saying? So when I look around in my community, and I see such a diverse community that loves their food. Everybody loves food. Food connects every single one of us, yeah? And yet nobody knows about food. So, yeah, I started my journey in my mum and dad's garden. That's where it started, on the back of being ill. So I thought, you know what? I need a change of lifestyle. I've had enough with this fast-track life, no time for myself. We're all working to do what? To put food on the table. That's the generic statement we live by. You know, we work to put bread on the table. Well, if you're growing some of your food, that means you don't have to necessarily work as much, which means you get the time to actually spend doing things you want to do. You know, I wanted to detach myself from the word need. I need to do this. I need to do that. And it is maybe it's not a Turkish Cypriot thing. Maybe it is. But I had my dad my whole life telling me, you need money to make money, son. So these two things, money and need, I sort of wanted to get away from it. And I did. I detached myself from money. I detached myself from being a slave to the word need. And I said, what do I want? And I started doing things I wanted. And in doing things I wanted, knowing that what I want is not just benefiting me, it's at the beginning in my mum's garden, it was benefiting my family. Then when I had too many tomatoes, it was benefiting my neighbors. When I had too many for my neighbors, I found a soup kitchen and I started donating to a soup kitchen. And, you know, things just organically, with no puns intended, materialized from there. I went for a little walk one day, walked past a greenhouse, Wolves Lane Horticultural Centre, saw a sign outside saying, help save Wolves Lane, you know, come and volunteer. So I started volunteering there. 3 months later, Edible London was a thing, a group of people who saw what I was doing. And even then, it wasn't a plan. It wasn't, you know, we didn't have all the answers or all the visions or all the mission statements and the team that we've got now. None of it. It was basic. It was, there is a problem in this world. What can we do with our actual hands and our time? The only thing that we're guaranteed on earth is that we can do whatever we want to do. That's a guarantee. So with that in mind, I set about to do whatever I could to give back to my community. And it wasn't just Wolves Lane, it was everywhere. I was going round to every nook and cranny in the whole of Tottenham and Haringey, seeing who needs help. I've got skills, how can I help you? I've got connections, how can they help you? Connecting dots is bigger than anything I have physically done in my community. It's making people know people. and know what their neighbor is capable of doing, or know what their friend actually needs and requires. You know, hearing what your community need, not just listening, actually hearing it.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, this is why I do this program, because I want to bring our community to the forefront, all the different things that we do, and actually, like you said, connect all the dots. And I love, you know what it is, Sonia, that comes through more than anything is your passion and your integrity. You've got great integrity. What you are actually doing, you truly believe in, and it's real, and it comes from the heart, and that just comes across on the screen immediately, just the way you talk about it. So this couldn't have gone any other way. It couldn't have not grown and become successful, because if somebody has a passion for something, and essentially at the root of it, it's a good intention, it's always going to go bigger and better, I think. So you're 100% right. And I love the fact that, you know, you're saying, you know, you wanted to get away from the materialistic world, you wanted to get away from, you know, being forced to do something that we don't necessarily want to do. And I think that's a really good message for our young people out there, because they get very afraid that, you know, because there's pressures of exams, there's pressures of them, you know, getting a job and making money, that they won't be able to follow their dreams and their passions. But what you're saying is that you should, right?
Absolutely, you should, but I'm not in politics. There's a million and one other things I would love to add on to extend on what you've just said. But if I was to, I know what will happen, because I'll tell you something about where I am right now. Being this community leader, or this person in the community that everyone looks to, it also comes with its downfalls. You know, being this passionate and this powerful, I have seen with my own eyes. I've bared witness to it. I've been subjected to it. Sometimes it's too overpowering, sometimes it's too overwhelming, and people don't necessarily see someone who does what I do, but they're not for, you know, I have volunteered for my community for 2.5 years. I have not got paid for what I do in Edible London. As the CEO, whenever there has been a bit of money that comes into the Edible London, I make the decision to employ people from my community before taking a salary for myself, because it's not about money to me. When I look at the crew and everyone, another thing, a lot of people thank me. I'm not in this alone. Yeah. I've got two amazing, I don't even call them PAs. I call them my mind protectors. I've got a head of administrator who's spearheading a team of 31 admins, a chief financial officer. We've got volunteers from Haringey that turn up every day, given, and they don't care what they're going to do. They're there to solidly work and work in solidarity. And they respect and honor our constitution. People from all different paths, all different religious backgrounds, all under one roof. And in a very small time, 350 people have been made into a family. You know why? Because of culture. That's what's missing in society. You know, we've all been brainwashed by this Western sort of society, to the point where even everybody in Cyprus has westernized themselves. They just need to make a program called EastEnders, and that's it. It's finished. It's over. You know. Everyone has lost their roots, and it's food that brings it back. That's why I'm so passionate about growing food, because irrelevant who you are, middle class, this religion, whoever you are, whatever you are, drop the label, stick a bunch of strangers around a table like the barbecue and do a vegan barbecue. I guarantee you people start connecting. They start talking about things, and I've witnessed it with my own eyes. Yeah. And it's not a coincidence that every single one of our ancestors once upon a time were farmers on this land, you know? So that's why food connects us all.
I think you've made a very universal point, and not only is it universal, but very true to our community. I mean, I had the gathering recently, and I had people from all walks of life, from the right, from the left, from the middle, from all over, from religion, from non-religion. And you're right, we got together and we ate and we were merry, and it was lovely. We connected because, like you said, what brings us all together is the culture and the food. You're absolutely right. I see you've hit on such core values. It's unbelievable. Like, you're a genius, honestly. But I understand that there's pressure with having to carry this now. There is that pressure as well. But I think we need people like you. So you must, you know, realize that we're in awe of you really at the moment, and you've got to sort of carry on. And we've got so many comments. It's unbelievable, Sonia, already. Sue saying, well done. in all you've done, Soner, Mehdi, absolutely full of passion. 80%, keep it up, brilliant. 80%, 100%. Totally agree with you. Not all about the money. I keep saying the same thing. Don't need money. It's true. I mean, obviously, we do need to.
Nah, hold on.
Our personal.
Look, my personal life has been affected. Absolutely. I haven't been able to buy my kids a pair of pajamas, nothing. I've been completely relying on friends, my mum, my missus, and people in my community. You know, I go to get a haircut. My barbers don't charge me. I go to get something to eat. They don't charge me. People don't charge me because they know what I'm doing. So I'm not saying money isn't important, because Edible London is entering a new stage of where we're at. And this is the point where we're opening the doors to money. And I am going to make my business sustainable. And people keep asking me, hold on a minute, why ain't you a charity, considering 80% of what you lot are doing is charitable? Why do I need to be a charity to do charitable work? Why is it even called charitable? Why does everyone think I'm so amazing? I'll tell you why. Because not enough people are doing this in the world. Because if I was just a normal musician, and no matter how amazing I played my flute or I played my piano, you know, it's a hard industry to break into. It's not about skill sets. X Factor has proved that. It's not about how good you can sing. It's about how connected you are, or how good you are on camera, or how many records you can sell. So, you know, there's a lot in society that teaches us a lot of things. And the point is, if we all start doing, every single one of us, if everyone plants 5 tomatoes in the back of their garden, if every Turkish Cypriot was to plant 5 tomatoes in the back of their garden, and whatever you produce, either donate it to a soup kitchen or sell it and donate the money to a soup kitchen. If you all selected the same soup kitchen, that soup kitchen would never need to look for funds ever again.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
You know, we as the people make the changes. This is why I keep saying, and a lot of people are quick to point fingers at their local council or point their fingers at the government. Why are you pointing your fingers? When you're pointing your finger, 3 fingers are pointing right back at yourself. You're asking a small group of people that are caring for a massive amount of people to make the change. Yeah, I've proved it. I started Edible London with £5 in my pocket. We've got 4 active growing sites across Haringey. We've engaged and educated over 2,000 children. We've fed over 18,000 homeless people pre-COVID-19. And you want to know the stats now? I'll tell you the stats now, yeah?
I'll ask you that.
Over 50,000 meals a week are being created through the food that we're donating to 36 beneficiaries across London, not just Haringey. The volumes of the meals that we were preparing for the Haringey Council was numbers of 180,000 food meals were made out of them hampers. Over 30,000 hot cooked meals. A total of 290,000 cooked meals distributed just through Haringey Council's beneficiaries. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Our relationship with you guys, it couldn't materialize because we didn't have enough drivers. All of a sudden, an amazing guy called Grant, who's the head of Chaotic Angels, he came to us and asked us if we need any help. Now, bikers going through traffic, being able to reach other areas that cars can't necessarily do. It was a golden opportunity. And they have come and honored the word solidarity. And they come from all out to help donate food and deliver food all over Haringey.
That's amazing. So it was the bikers, because I saw pictures of that, and that's an amazing story that you know, this bikers group came and actually distributed food in
every Monday and Thursday. Every Monday and Thursday.
Shout out to them. During COVID-19, your work changed. So this is what we're moving into now. So what happened to Edible London? How did it change?
Just sorry, I don't want to refine your question, but nothing changed in Edible London's world. Okay. But what did change is the world changed. So there was more people in need of Edible London services. And I'll tell you what I'm grateful for, what I'm really humble for, is to have had that credibility in our community. So when we put a call out and we asked for help, wow, what a response from our community. What a response from every single one of them legends that turn up. We've got a pool of 350 volunteers that are scheduled and rotating through our food hub. We've got 100 farmers that are out there every day looking after the growing projects. We've got, like I said, 50 admins, and all of this happened in weeks. Within weeks, we scaled up from reaching 200 people a week with food to now 50,000 people a week with food. And that is within 12 weeks, guys. I can't explain to you. But what has happened is finally the work that we're doing together as an organization, as a community, we're finally being heard. We're finally being acknowledged, you know, and it's had an adverse effect on me. I'm not going to lie. In one side of me, I feel completely humbled and grateful that we have got this acknowledgement and that people are there to support us. But the other part of me, who has been struggling out there for 2 years, struggling to let people know that homeless people are not invisible, that we walk past them every day on the streets in a world that we say is a civilized country, you know. Why have we still got 250,000 homeless people on the streets? And why do they not get the attention that everyone is now getting through this pandemic? Because there's no difference to what they're suffering to what everybody else is now suffering through the pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, again, there is a lot that we're going to do in Edible London. There is a hell of a lot. And there is a lot that I'm going to do. A lot. I'm not over yet. I have nowhere near begun what we're going to do for our communities. But one thing I will say is we cannot do it without you. We are not even doing this immediately for you. We're doing this for the ambassadors of our future. Yes. The fact that anyone now benefits from the work that Edible London does is a bonus. Because I'm looking at our children and our children's children, and look at what's going on out there. Look at our streets. Look at our kids. Look at what they call so-called nightlife. You know? It doesn't work. There's not enough community assets there. So how can we blame our children for doing what they do? How can we continue, again, pointing that finger? Because if you're pointing your finger at your kid, again, you're pointing 3 fingers back at yourself. What are you doing as a role model, as a parent? You know? So change starts at home.
It does. I mean, everything that you've said is a good point. I mean, obviously, you're focused with to help the homeless. But obviously, with COVID-19, it affected everybody, and it affected a lot of vulnerable people in our community, and it grew. And I think you're right. It's highlighted a lot of issues that were already there. And obviously, you were already doing this, but it just became bigger and more diverse. And obviously, you made more connections. I mean, there were so many positive comments coming in on it. It's unbelievable. Jansev has said, loving your passion, son. And I mean, that's the thing that comes through with what you say. You've got so much passion. I mean, I can hear it in your energy, in your voice. Keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing. I mean, that's the thing. This is why I wanted to interview you and wanted this to, you know, go out there, is the fact that, you know, our community need to know more and more about what it is that you do. Gulnil has put, very inspiring, you're amazing, Soned. Abby Hussein has said, my late parents lived on Walls Lane all their lives. Yes, and I actually work near there as well, so it brings back memories. We've got a lot of Turkish Cypriot communities around there anyway, so it's like a hub of our community, like Harringay and Woodside and Tottenham area anyway. And I think that is one of your focuses, isn't it? You do a lot of work in that area.
It's our hub, it's our roots, but it's not our sole focus. We're Edible London, you know. London is our focus, and once we're finished with London, onwards and upwards. Definitely. You know? And the blueprint is finished. We're now ready to roll it out.
Fantastic. You're going to tell me about that in a minute. And we've got a video that we're going to show, but I'll just say a few more comments because there's been so many while we've been talking. I don't want to skip anybody. Fatima Meme has put, such a genuine and articulate man. Well done, Soned. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the things that you've said really rings true about the community, about the importance of food, about being aware, you know, saying that our country needs to stand up and be accountable for their homelessness and do something about it. And the fact that COVID-19 has highlighted that, you know, there's been a lot of people vulnerable in the community during this time, but actually we've got homeless people that have been vulnerable for a very long time, and we need to deal with that. And I think, you know, organizations like yourselves are the ways forward to hopefully bring those statistics down, if we can. Also, you could be a great motivational speaker, Sonia. I think so, definitely. He is, isn't he? Maxine's, but you're a great inspiration behind you.
No,
So,
you are a great inspiration, Mr. Max. That man there is a genius. Unsung hero in Edible London. There's a lot of unsung heroes in Edible London, but let me say something. Maxime and Victoria, them two people have been absolutely astonishing throughout this whole operation, as well as many, many other people. I don't like to call out names because there's so many amazing people. I'm not on my own here, guys. I really ain't doing this on my own.
of course, yes, definitely. Obviously, the team is important as well, but obviously you're like the shining beacons of leading them on. So definitely we've got to give credit to you as well, because like you said, it's a great responsibility and it's not easy, but someone has to do it, I think. And I think you're the suitable man. We've got a few more comments. Chauffeur Jamal, well done, Sonnet. And also Hakan Can, keep up the good work, bro. Was nice to meet you and all the others. I mean, that's just fantastic.
How can I be? Oh, he's beautiful.
I mean, we've actually got a video, so I'm going to read a few more comments and then we're going to actually go on to show the video, which is very important and informative. But Yelis has put an inspiration to all of us. I mean, that's the thing that's really true with all of the comments, is the fact that you are a true inspiration. Everything that you're saying really rings true. And this is why I think it's sort of just grown so quickly, is because you've actually honed in on something that really needed to be addressed and needed to be looked at within our community. And like you said, not just in North London, but the whole of London and hopefully beyond. But yeah, we've got a video, haven't we, that we want to show. So let's show the video now.
Look at the world we're living in today. Look at the broken communities. And if you know what Edible London represents, that's what we're here to do. Bring it all back together.
So food growing and sharing food, that's what Edible London is about. This is what brings our communities back together. And sustainable food production is exactly what we aspire to do. The Edible London heroes are going through approximately 4 tons of surplus food a day. Once it's cleaned and sorted through, we're distributing it to our many partners across the capital. Approximately 50,000 people a week are being reached with the food we save. This is just the beginning. We're ready to scale this operation up big time. We just need your support.
I just want people to actually see what's being created here, and not only to see, to become a part of it. We're asking for you to come and get involved, to help us keep feeding people. The problem of food poverty isn't going to go away. If anything, it's going to increase and become worse and worse and worse.
In 12 weeks, we have almost reached 300,000 people with food. This is absolutely amazing. We are raising this 100K so we can keep this operation going, relocate and scale up.
We are making it edible in any which way we can. We just need your support.
Okay, so obviously that's the crowdfunding page as well. But I mean, that video is amazing. The things it's done, and it's so much. It's like on such a huge scale. But obviously, I think that's a very important thing, and we will put the link up on this program. That obviously with these things, obviously money isn't important. But having said that, we want to continue this. I mean, if you could tell us what partnerships have been formed during this period with Edible London, and how that's provided help for the Turkish Cypriot community?
One of the biggest partnerships that's come because of the Turkish Cypriot community was with the Chaotic Angels. I mean, had the need to reach further and the logistical side of doing it with cars and vans, that wouldn't have materialized. So when they approached us and offered to help us with logistics, it was like, oh my God, the two and two go together. Through working with the Turkish Cypriot community, so many people that I've met. I mean, Hakan, one of them who's left a message there. I met this gentleman through you guys. through the Turkish Cypriot community. And before he went away, he spent weeks volunteering with Edible London, delivering food for us all over Hackney, you know. So a lot of connections has been made. I mean, the word partnership kind of comes with a bit of a, you know, what is the word partnership? We're all partners in tackling the injustice in the world, you know. Formal partnership agreements? No, there is no formal partnership agreements that have been made. But yeah, a lot of productive dots have been made through working with the TCCA. As like a lot of the people we work with, it's absolutely phenomenal the magic that can be created. But knowing my community as well, I'm not going to lie, I've been doing this for what, 2.5 years now. I've never ever approached my Turkish Cypriot community. I'm not going to lie. It's almost like I started with every other community first and left the Turkish Cypriots last. And you know, it wasn't premeditated. It was just by chance, you know. I don't even know why. But one thing I will say to my Turkish Cypriot community, you know, knowing my culture and knowing my community, we can do a lot more. When it comes to growing food, we've got a lot of knowledge that we bring with us, with our culture. You know, when it comes to cooking food, you know, it's no secret. Look at Haringey High Road. Obviously, the UK loves our food because there's so many Turkish restaurants everywhere, you know. So I think what we could do as a Turkish Cypriot community is be more mindful about the oneness in our community and be more mindful about the planetorial things that are going on, you know. Be more mindful around plastic waste. If every Turkish grocery shop in London was to stop using plastic carrier bags, wow, what a good thing you have done for our planet. So it's not just about tackling the problems in the community. It's about tackling them ethically and being mindful of the planet at the same time.
Being a bit more sustainable, I guess. That's a very good point about the plastic bags, because I never thought that. You know, with the supermarkets, they're a little bit more mindful, but I think those grocery stores, they're quite big as well now. I wouldn't say they're just small. They're quite massive. And really with the plastic bags, I think we need to have more recyclable bags used there as well. I think like we take them to the supermarket, we forget to do that with our Turkish supermarkets. And I think we need to be more mindful with that, 100%. Abi Hussein has put a very good point. I actually really like this. He's put, you're a star, and I feel ashamed not knowing what you do until today. So this is it. I mean, this is why I feel like this program now, it makes me feel good, because we need to let a lot more of our community know what's going on so that they can, you know, support us, and certainly maybe can be part of Edible London, because it's phenomenal, really, you know, how many months, the amount of people you've reached out to. And obviously it's, you know, these things are inevitable that certain people won't know about certain things, but the point is that we all work together and we all connect. And like you said, I like the way you describe it, connecting all the dots is very, very important. So many comments on it, it's unbelievable. How many people have commented on this program so far? Edim has said over 500 meals, 10 large crates of food a week to TCCA allows us reach 150 people a week. Thank you all. Our Edible London team work makes the dream work. Tagline. Well done,
Edim, Abi.
proud of you, Edim Abi. And yeah, I mean, Edim can't say enough of you. I think he's in awe of you, really, Soned, and everything that you've done.
Vice versa, guys. Vice versa. To inspire is to be inspired. And like I said, the growth of Edible London has only come because of the amount of solidarity I have witnessed in my community. Yeah. There are so many people that have stood up to make this possible, guys.
I mean, we've got a few more comments. Arif has said, hi from Cyprus, well done to all of you. I mean, hopefully we'll be able to reach out to Cyprus one day as well, because like you said, I think people in Cyprus need to be going back to their roots and growing.
I'm going to Cyprus. Cyprus is, we've already got some conversations happening with Cyprus. Edible London is going to be going to Cyprus.
That's fantastic. That's amazing. So you've got to come back on the program and tell me about that then. Charlie has put, we're all behind you and support your vision for a better world. Keep going, is what Charlie is saying. I mean, what are your aspirations for the future? Let's talk about that a little bit.
To eradicate food poverty and food injustice, you know, to talk to try and influence, you know, developers. You know, if there's, we live in a concrete jungle. We shouldn't be living in a concrete jungle. You know, if you're going to develop and you're going to build all of these houses, build houses. Stop building flats. Because if you want to tackle mental health. Why are you putting people in flats? You wouldn't see the people who build these flats living in these flats. So why are you building them? And don't tell me there ain't enough land. When you get on a plane and you go a couple of meters above the ground, you see nothing but vast greenery all over, So, more food production. All of these look at what they're doing to Tottenham. Look at what they're doing in Tottenham. Look at the redevelopment. Have they even factored in 20% of growing space? Do they even think, when we derelict this building because it needs to come down, let's build a greenhouse and grow food? People need to just, to make that influence is a massive scale. That would mean having, some political stance. And I don't want to go into politics. I don't want to go into all of that because it's a bureaucratic process that exhausts people. And in my opinion, it destroys resilience. What I do, my resilience gets built every day. And I'm not saying we don't suffer bureaucracy. Of course I do. I've been suffering bureaucracy for the past year and a half, but it's meant to be there. I would have never have said, I want to learn about the bureaucratic processes in life. No way would I subject myself to that. No, but what these people have given me is an opportunity to learn something that I wouldn't have otherwise wanted to learn, you know? And you've got to be mindful. You know what you said about my energy and all of that? It can come across a little bit scary. Some people might look at that and think, oh God, bloody hell, he's a bit loud. So it comes with its pros and cons.
Yes, I mean you've got to be though. You've got to be shouting a little bit louder than the rest. Otherwise, you won't be heard and you won't get your point across. I'm a bit like that. I'm quite a loud person, so I can relate. I think. Isn't that a Turkish Cypriot thing generally? We're quite laid back, but we're quite forceful with our opinions as well. And I think that's what makes us island people, I guess. Island people are a little bit wild, and I'm quite proud to be a little bit wild.
Oh yeah, I'm glad of being spoke. I speak honest. That's the truth. I don't. I've got I take a few notes of things to say if I'm going into a meeting, but that's it. I talk from my heart. That's why I don't need a script. That's why when I have there's been some parts in this 12 weeks where, certain big firms have sort of approached me to do an interview and they want to sort of put a script in front of me and tell me about sound bites. Get out of here, man. I don't need to be on your platform. You want me to speak? I'm going to speak from my heart and tell you how it is. End of. Don't give me a script to follow. I'm no one puppet.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And this is what's unique about us is that's what I don't. I mean, obviously we have a set of questions, so we have some sort of idea and plan of what we're going to talk about. But it's very much led from the person that I interview and what they want to put across, what message they want to actually tell the audience. It has to be open. It has to be an open and honest conversation. I always feel that open and honest conversations are the best. The ones that, like we said, come from the heart, because I think that will make more of a difference than a scripted, well-planned, advert.
Yeah.
I think it needs to come from the heart. And I think everything that you've said rings true. I mean, we've got even more comments coming through. We've got Yelis saying, Sonia, say it, hashtag teamwork, make the dream work.
So teamwork makes the dream work, baby.
Kunal, your energy is infectious and you truly are inspirational. Yes, I do feel that. It's been infectious today with the comments. So I think never, ever change who you are, Sonia. And that's the thing. I think that's why when you earn people's trust, then people will come on board. And I think that's why Edible London has become so successful so quickly is because people trust you. And the only way you earn trust is what you see is what you get. You say it. Whatever you feel, you say it out. And I think that is really, really important again. We've got more comments. Hakan, it's okay. I'll come back soon, lol, with a bigger van.
Go on, Hakan, I mean, we need you.
On our program, is he on holiday? Has he gone Cyprus?
He's gone to see his family, yeah, bless him.
Oh, bless him. Okay, so soon, Hakan, after you get your tan, you have to come back with a bigger van. Sherife, you are such an inspiration. Your passion is something else. Love your motto. Has Sherifa said, Fevzi, you should go into politics, bro. I don't know. What do you think of that?
I couldn't. To be a politician, in my opinion, I know politicians. I know people that have been working in councils and it exhausts them. I think my only advice to government and politics, and be honest, guys. You know, just try talking a little bit more honest when we look at you on TV, because I don't feel like someone's standing there and talking to me when I watch my leaders. I feel like someone's standing there reading from a script. And, you know, if I wanted to watch a pantomime, I'd go to a theatre. So I just think a little bit more honesty, a little bit of humanity needs to come back into society and get rid of all of this technology. Although we're using it right now, this is our beacon. This is the way we get the message across to people. So,
and someone's put a comment next. It's called passion, 100%. I keep saying this about you, your energy, you're very passionate. But again, that's integrity. That's coming from the heart. And I think that's why people trust you, 100%. Right, we've got more comments. Against TV has said, you can help Edible London help those in need by supporting our crowdfunder today. To share and donate, visit bit.ly/EL donate now. So we're going to actually put that on our link. So please, people, I mean, at the end of the day, this won't be able to carry on unless we do give support.
To be honest with you guys, I mean, just to update you a little bit, where we are at Alexandra Palace is set to come to an end very, very soon. We're still not clear on the final date, but I mean, we've like massive thank you to everyone who's donated to our crowdfunder. Unfortunately, we didn't reach the target in time, so there may be a downsizing the operation to a smaller location. There may be a possibility that we will have to stop the operation until we get the funding to continue the operation. But one thing that I will say is we will always continue to be tackling malnutrition in the homeless sector with our partners that we've been working with for 2.5 years. That will never stop. The further need to tackle malnutrition across the scale. You know, we're looking at partnering with some organizations that are going to be feeding the children through summer holidays. So it's not just about this one crowdfunder. It's not just about achieving one target. It's about letting people know and understanding that we are stronger in numbers. If every Turk was to stop and hear what I'm saying right now and put £1, bir lira, we would have quadrupled our target. You know, if every Turk was to put £1 as a subscription every month, we wouldn't only be eradicating homelessness in UK. I'd be flying to every other country out there and building wells. This is what I mean. Power of numbers, guys. Power of numbers.
That's a strong message. You know, even if it's £1 from every single person that's watched tonight, it will make a huge difference. Please, please, can we donate? It will honestly, I mean, the passion that this man has and the project is so wonderful. And it's quite sad for me to hear that maybe Alexandra Palace, you might have to, you know, relocate or downsize. So let's try and not make that happen. I mean, is it too late or we can still...
It's not too late. We've still got at least a week till the end of this week. I've got another little spot set up to downsize the operation too. But in order for us to continue the operation at full scale, we would need to achieve that 100K within the next few days, you know. And to be honest with you guys, it's had an adverse effect on me, this crowdfunder, because when I look at it, as much as I'm humbled and so grateful for the 290 people that have backed it, 290 people. I've spoken to more than 290 people in the past 2 weeks. So, you know, it's hard being in this industry, which is why I am rolling out our business side of Edible London. Edible London will sustain itself very, very shortly. We will not have to rely on public money and public funding. You know, I'm not going down that route. I want to be able to sustain my organization myself. And that is what we are doing.
Okay, but in the meantime, come on, guys.
In the meantime, we need your help, guys. Absolutely, man. We're doing all we can.
Whole week, I'll say on behalf of Eurogage, we will roll it out and, you know, put the word out there and put the links out there, because I feel very passionately about this. Eurogage feel very passionately about this. The TCCA, the whole of the Turkish Cypriot community. It's just about, you know what it is sometimes, Soned, is we are a little bit asleep as a community. I'm saying it as it is. People know me now on these programs where I just say it as it is. Sometimes biraz uyuruk, you know, but when we're woken up, we actually deep down have got very good hearts. So I think we just need to wake up and realize that you're making a huge difference, and we need to just enable it to carry on. Because, you know, your intentions are true. What you've done during COVID-19 is absolutely amazing. And the amount of people you've fed, and not just fed, but fed in a good way. And you're actually educating our youngsters and our community to eat well. It's not just about immediately feeding people. It's about helping them with their mental health, their lifestyle, and everything. It's a way of life. You're actually directing them to a better way of life. I feel like it's a philosophy. So that's why I feel very conscious about it and very much passionate about it, because I really feel like you've got a philosophy, and that philosophy makes sense. And if we all come together, then we can maybe eradicate, at least in London, that big, huge problem of homelessness, and the fact that so many people do not eat properly from day to day. And at this day and age, for that to happen, it just devastates me. It devastates me.
It's disgusting. Supermarkets, you know, when you look at the food that's on the market, it hurts me. It absolutely hurts me. I feel like walking down most supermarket aisles and putting most of the things that they've got on the shelves in prison, you know, because that's where it deserves to be, because that stuff kills our children, you know. Yeah, it's completely, I don't know. Look, it's a hard process. It's a hard process. There is a massive change that needs to be had. And there's many things that COVID-19 has taught us. Yeah. It's taught us that the world we're living in, and this economy that we fight so hard to protect, and this system that we are slaves to, does not work, you know, and that we all need to get together and find a new future, you know, find our purpose on this earth. Because I think we've all lost our way. And that's my opinion. And I very rarely release my opinion, because I tell you what happens with opinions when you're sitting where I am. If you're doing something this good in community, there's always someone there ready to knock you off your perch, because they don't want good to happen. That's so right. I will say this. I ain't perfect. I'm human. But I guarantee you that the intentions of building Edible London was built upon perfect intentions, and will always remain that way, because I've got a board of directors and a board of trustees that I said to them, if ever you see that my intentions have changed or that I am damaging Edible London, you vote me out of this company. And I made them swear to that, because I will never, ever allow this, what I've built, to be manipulated, to be changed, man. It's for everyone, every single human being on earth. That's what Edible London is for.
That's right. And I like the fact that you said we're human. It's true. We're not perfect. We can make mistakes. But at the end of the day, if we stand true to what we believe, then I think you can't go wrong, really. 100%. And your passion is just 100%. We've got more comments, and we're nearing the end of our program, but it doesn't matter. We're going to go over. Abi Hussein, again, has said, you represent everything Turkish Cypriot. I met a lot of top politicians as a member of a political party, but you are way above any politician I know. I tell you, Sonia, you see, you don't have to be a politician. You just have to speak, I think, and you inspire people. It's not about what role you have. Sometimes it's a calling in life, and I think your calling in life is to bring people together and to help them and to show them a philosophy and a way of life that's better. I think that is your calling, to be honest with you. It's very evident to me. So, I mean, I'd like you to come on my program. Yeah. You know, and talk about these things. Erim has said, well done, Gulay, Sonnen, Aysen, great show, showcasting amazing people within our own Turkish Cypriot community. Love you all. Erim always supporting us in the background. I tell you, he's an absolute beacon in our community as well. So thank you very much to Erim. All of that you said about us goes back on you, I tell you, 100%. Abi Hussein has said, you should be the proudest Turkish Cypriot ever. My goodness.
I'm the proudest man ever, guys. I'm the proudest man. Look, I completely respect my Turkish Cypriot heritage, but we are all human. Remember that, yeah? There's no difference between me and Maxime, who's French, and, you know, and other people who are of other... There isn't, guys. So I know what it is. I know what you guys are saying. I feel like that. When I see a Turkish Cypriot doing something, I feel proud. Look at but it's not my people. We're all our people.
We're human, aren't we?
You know, even that, just be mindful over when we say things like this, because I guarantee you this, I've sent this link to many people in my community, So although this is a Turkish platform, you guys, I've seen it, Maxine, Charlie, I'm seeing messages there from people who are not Turkish Cypriot. So I'm proud of being Turkish Cypriot, and I am a Turkish Cypriot. But when it comes to this, it's not about being Turkish Cypriot. When it comes to what I'm doing, it's about understanding that we need to do this. And I don't use the word need much. I like to subscribe to the word I want to do this. But what the work that Edible's doing needs to be done. What I do, I love doing it, and I want to do it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. We've got a few more comments. A very good point, though. And all the programs that we do and everything that we do is for the wider community anyway. It's for everybody. But obviously, we're proud of our roots as well. Gulshen has said one word, passion. I'd say, yeah, it's everything. And it's true. Passion and integrity and honesty, I think. You're a very honest man, Sonaj. So I think it really comes through. So everybody, please, crowdfunding, even if it's £1, can we do it? Let's put our words in our pockets and take out at least £1 and try and support.
And you know what? Can I add to that, Abba?
Yes.
Sorry, I just want to. The hardest thing is looking at a target and thinking, where's my £5 going to go? Where's my £1 going to go? I want it. I want your £1. I want your 50p, whatever it is, because you know what means more to me? Seeing a name. And I've said this, I would rather 100,000 people put £1 on my crowdfunder than have 100 people put 10 grand. Because the truth is, them 100,000 people, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be local people. And a couple of months down the line, I might say, you know what, guys, I've got 15 acres of land off the M25. I need some help. Let's go and work the budget. That's when you've got support. So please, guys, anything you can do, donate, share it, and just know that getting on that phone and actually doing the donation is the hardest part of that journey. The rest, leave to us.
Yes, definitely. So please, can we do that? We'll have the link on our page, and we're going to share it out to Edible London, our crowdfunding, donate now. We've also got some more comments as well coming in. Suleiman Aksen, I can send, sorry, big love to Edible London and massive well done for what has been achieved so far. I mean, this is the thing, already great things have been achieved, but what it is we want to carry this on and make it bigger and better and, you know, outreach more people. Tulay has said, well done, Soner, as well. That's the comments. I mean, it's been amazing, Soner. What's your last sort of message to our audience before we go?
My last message is do more, guys. If you can't help Edible London and you're not close enough to get involved, start growing some food. Let's start growing some food and talk about what Edible London is doing. Direct people to us, because so many people are inspired by the work we're doing. But the best part of that, the part where we win, is when that person that's been inspired goes away and does something in their community. You know, that's what we got to do. And remember our children, please. This is to my Turkish Cypriot community now. Can we remember our children, guys? Çünkü biz çocuklarımıza başka odaya gönderirsek ana baba görmezler. Yeah? They need to know their mum and dads, and they need to know what's going on in the world, and not constantly run under that mentality where children should be seen and not heard, which is what I grew up in. You know? Let's love and nurture our children to a better future.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Soner, for coming on the program. You've been a real inspiration, as many people have said. We're going to share the link, and hopefully lots of people will donate, and you'll be back here telling us about the wonderful projects that you're doing and the wonderful things that you're doing. I mean, it's been an absolute honor to have you on my program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's it from us from Eurogainst TV. Have a very good evening. Goodbye. Thank you.
Welcome, we are Bologna, calling newlyweds or those looking for a new bedroom set. Venti 5-door bedroom set is not only glamorous and modern, but has storage inside the bed. This bedroom set was £3,700, now £2,395. Bologna, we are here for you.